This is why you should never fly Spirit Airlines. Just yesterday, nearly 200 passengers had their flight delayed for over 7 hours with zero.
So today we'll be talking about the failure of Spirit Airlines and how we can learn from the failure of Spirit Airlines. And we'll also be touching on the topic of the AP watches. Very expensive watches, but they're now being sold for $300. I tell you, these companies are tricking us out of our monies. Like, how could you be selling a watch for 100,000 1 minute and then the next minute it's $300? Come on. Let's get into it. Now, Spirit Airlines is known as a budget-friendly airline based in the United States of America. Now, they have ridiculously cheap ticket prices. However, they charge you for everything else. Like, you don't get a free carry-on. Of course, every airline charges for checked luggages now, but they charge you for simple things like printing your ticket at the counter. So they try to make up for those cheap costs, cheap plane fares other ways. Now, I personally, as a businessman, I don't have a problem with you advertising these prices and then trying to catch up using other products, charging for other products. But the problem is, Spirit Airlines was just a poorly run organization. Like, if you check the internet, it's littered with Spirit Airline memes.
Well, I'll be damn sure. Look, it's a monkey!
This is why you should never fly Spirit Airlines. Just yesterday, nearly 200 passengers had their flight delayed for over 7 hours with zero explanation.
So we have 200 passengers on this flight right now. How long have you been waiting?
7 hours.
7 hours.
And not to mention, they allegedly weren't given any food or water during this delay. And apparently, the reason that their flight was delayed was because there were no pilots on board. However,
this is one of the most hated companies in the world. Spirit Airlines is a low-cost airline in the US, similar to Ryanair in Europe, and it's one of the worst ranked in the entire country. It actually started as a trucking company and slowly worked its way into aviation. While their tickets are definitely cheap, they make you pay extra for anything else. Things like carry-on bags cost extra, and they even make you pay to print tickets at the airport. At one point, they actually got rid of their toll-free customer service number, making landline customers pay to call them.
And my thing was, I have never seen Spirit Airlines release a ad stating that we want to change the narrative around Spirit Airlines. And we can learn from this, because in business, a lot of us think that we can get away with poor customer service, low production, low effort, and the business will just continue coming, because once it open, people come. So for my entrepreneurs out there, one, anytime you see there's any negative stigma being developed around your company, you have to come out with the marketing to reverse that narrative. That's one. Two, if the narrative is true, then you have to make adjustments. Like, and it's a thing in Jamaica where we somehow kind of thrive off poor customer service. Like, it's like a badge of honor to us. Even when we go overseas, there are memes up that when you go into a Jamaican restaurant and the customer service is poor, the food is going to be good. But we don't have to carry this stigma around. Look, if your food is good and you have great customer service, that's called a win-win. Now, if you should Google the reason for Spirit Airlines failing, they'll talk about surging fuel prices, they'll talk about the failure to merge with JetBlue, and they'll talk about the grounding of their airplanes. Now, a lot of times when you see a business being run poorly in one aspect of the company, it translates to the rest. So the customer service is poor, and chances are the rest of the organization is run that way. It's not just the customer service. So they had planes that weren't flying, and that's an easy one. If you have your assets not being able to go out there and make money for you, you're going to be in trouble. Let's tie that back into our small business. Now you're running, let's say, a laundromat, for example. Or let's go back to the restaurant. You have a restaurant, you have an 8-burner stove, and 2 of the burners just stop working, and guess what? you don't pay it no mind, you just work with the other 6, but now you're able to cook less. And now that is going to increase your production time, your turnaround time. So now your customers have to now wait longer on you. Do not do that. When things start to break in your company, you have to start fixing them right away, because service is going to fall off. Because remember, time is money. People don't want to just be sitting down waiting longer than necessary to get some food. So if you're in the business, if you're in a business and you see things breaking down, you have to start fixing or replacing them, because it's going to affect your level of productivity. No, I didn't see anything like this in the news about Spirit Airlines, but I can guarantee you that even though the company was going through hardships, people were still giving free flights to their friends, free baggages and all of these things, knowing the company is struggling. No, for those of us out there that work with companies, especially smaller companies, you can't just watch wastage happen around you. If this is what's paying for your living expenses, you can't just watch wastage happening in the company and not bring it to the relevant authorities, because that's not your business, because you know that you're going to get paid Friday. But let me enlighten you. If the company is not making any money, you can't get paid on Friday. So if you think we are wasting goods over here, you need to bring it to the relevant authorities' attention. The person, the manager, the owner, you need to bring it up. In the meetings, you need to say, hey, I think we need to stop ordering as many tomatoes as we order, because about three dozen tomatoes went bad last month. So we need to cut down the amount of tomatoes we're ordering, because we're not using. We need to say things like that, because look, if the company doesn't make money, you can't get paid. Eventually you will stop getting paid. And I can just imagine all these people that had poor customer service on the flights and giving attitude, how they were crying the day they heard that their company was shutting down.
And then tears as Spirit planes based in Orlando begin flying away for the last time, bound for a storage yard miles away.
So don't wait until, whether you're a business owner or an employee, don't wait until it is too late for you to start changing your attitude. Look, whether you own it or you work for the company, come in and work. Give this job your best, because this is what's giving you the means to pay your bills and live a good life. Give it your best, because when they're downsizing, they're going to look for the people that gave it their best, the best performance. And of course, if you own the company, you have to be checking in, making sure that, look, your company is running right. And if there's any negativity out there about your company, you have to know. 1, get rid of that negative stigma. You have to come out to the public and change your image. And 2, if it's true, you have to now change how you operate the company. And these are things we can take from Spirit Airlines. So look here, you're in a small business, and every minute you see your co-worker them take up printing paper, carry the garden yard. Look here, it's small, but guess what? It catches up on the company after a while. You see them come and them print several things through the printer. Projects on top of projects. Them a print funeral program through the printers, because it's not their money. No, we can't be doing that. We can't be abusing the companies that are paying us. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about those AP watches. Now, time and time again, I say we are allowing these companies to trick us out of our monies. And this is why I say this. AP usually sell watches for like 100,000 US or even more. And now they're coming out with a collaboration with another company, and the APs are now costing 300 US. Now, the gap between 100,000 US and 300 US is a large one. And if they're going to come out with a watch and sell it for 300 US and still make a profit, what does it actually cost to make that watch? Shit! We need to, I keep on saying this, I don't have anything against nice things. But one, when you're buying these nice things, we have to look into, is it really worth it? Like the material and labor and all of that, what they're saying, is it really worth it for me to buy this quote unquote nice thing? For the ladies out there, I'm going to ask you this question. The handbag that you desperately want, if I should give you that same exact handbag minus the logo, would it mean as much to you? If the answer is no, it simply means that you don't really like the product. It's the status and the brand and the attention that the brand gives you why you like the product. So for the men out there that were spending all this money on these APs, only to find out that obviously the material that they use to make them and the technology behind them, it wasn't that great, because if they can now make them and sell them for 300 US and still make a profit. So I'm saying there's nothing wrong with nice things. I like nice experiences, but we have to start asking ourselves, when we're spending our money, are we just making the rich richer, or are we getting value for our money? So we need to start spending money on things that bring more value to your life. Because the truth is, $100,000 on one watch, you know how much memories you can create with family members, how many trips you can take, you know how much other things. For $100,000, I mean, you might not be a dirt bike kind of guy, or but I'm saying for 100,000 you could buy even one ATV, ride up and down on a Sunday with your kids on their mini ATVs. Because I'm telling you, you can get ATVs for yourself and family for less than 100,000 US. So I'm saying, I don't mind nice things, but I'm saying, we have to make sure that, these companies are not tricking us. All right? So I hope you got some insight from this video. Blessings. Subscribe, share, do.